Okay, good evening, everybody. I am attempting to live stream this right now for the first time ever, so it could go horribly wrong, hence the silly headset and the camera recording me. So hopefully this is now going out to Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, or will be soon. So I only have 7 minutes. I have 26 slides. It's going to be quick and messy and going to go wrong. But we're all here to have fun and learn, so here we go. So I'm going to talk about Twilio's proxy service, and I started looking at Twilio's proxy service, which is a system to kind of do semi-private communication, because I wanted to sign up to Tinder. And I looked at Tinder and I went, signing in with Facebook? Nope, not at all. Actually, can somebody just run and maybe kill the lights so we can see a little bit easier? Thank you. So I went nope to signing up with Tinder, with Facebook. So I thought, okay, I'll put in my phone number there, and you get a code to sign up, and that's all good. And that uses a system called AccountKit. So if you actually dig in a little bit more to AccountKit, and you might not be able to see it here. Oh, there it is. AccountKit is powered by Facebook. So I started on this journey, and it was all pointless because AccountKit/Facebook would have got my information anyway. So I wanted to keep my telephone number private, and there are numbers of ways you can do this. Obviously, on the later iOS phones and other Android devices, you can have multiple SIMs. On iOS, there's this app called Burner where you can get a number assigned to you, and it will kind of do VoIP to your phone. And I looked at that and I thought, okay, yeah, I can send some pics and some messages for this hot date that I'm going to get via Tinder. That'd be all good. 50 minutes, okay. And then I looked at the price and I thought that's a little bit expensive for me. You know, $6.99 a month. Instead, I can spend maybe a few dollars a month and countless hours of my time trying to get this thing working. And of course, I didn't factor that into working out the costs. So this is where Twilio comes in, and Twilio is a developer-friendly communications platform which has a ton of APIs that make it really easy for developers to do kind of voice, SMS, fax, and all sorts of data. So any kind of telecoms stuff they handle. They're a massive company and they do really interesting stuff. So the thing that they've recently launched and got in beta is this thing called Proxy. And as it says there, it's an API to connect two parties, allowing people to communicate by essentially proxying the communication and masking each other's numbers. So I thought, okay, this sounds kind of interesting, so I'll use that for my stuff. So really what happens is there's a pool of numbers that you set up, and the system will automatically take numbers from that pool, connect them, and intelligently manage all of that stuff for you. And so with a very small pool of numbers, you can have a lot of kind of semi-anonymous communication happening. So a typical use case, one that they talk about, is things like ride sharing, where potentially you want to connect a rider with a driver and you want them to be able to communicate for a period of time. So I've hailed an Uber or other ride sharing service, and then I've left something in the back of the car. I want to be able to communicate with that person, and SMS and phone and voice is a good way to do that. It's kind of useful because not everybody has the same phones. You know, some people have shitty phones, and you can, voice and SMS works for anything. And the other example they give is a kind of online directory kind of example. So Twilio allows you to buy numbers in various area codes and overlay areas for like $1 a month. You put them into this pool, and you can reserve numbers in that pool for your own use. And the number of numbers that you need is dependent on the number of concurrent sessions that one number can be in. So I'll kind of illustrate that in a second. So this is the directory example. So you buy a number through Twilio. You can just do it on their website, and there's APIs that do all of this. You can search. So I search for the 902 area code. It gives me all of those, and you can get them for $1 a month. I've bought 3 numbers for myself, and I have reserved one of those numbers, which I give out to people. You set up the system as how long you want a default session to last, and a session is between two participants of the conversation, how you want to match the numbers, what you want to happen, and also you can basically set up callbacks and webhooks for things to occur. And I've set up one called the out of session callback URL. So that's where that endpoint gets called when there isn't an existing session between people. And there's never, for my use case, because I'm handing out a number, I know one of the numbers, but I don't know anybody else who's going to call that number, and that callback allows me then to set up and bridge the session between those two numbers. So, Twilio also has like a hosted functions kind of system. So again, on their platform for kind of a cent a month or whatever, I actually wrote that little bit of code. It's a little bit hard to see here, but essentially that says, hey, generate a unique identifier for this bridging of two people, and then use this number. And that is my personal cell phone number that I didn't want to hand out to anybody else. So when people call that number that I've handed out, it generates sessions, and I've set it up to have a default time to live of about 3 hours. So those are all the closed and open sessions, and you can see the interactions and messages between each person in the system there. So that was the very brief thing of the demo. Of what I wanted to talk about. So now, hopefully, if I can get this working, if somebody messages me, so if somebody sends me an SMS message on 1902 200 2445. I think that was the number. Otherwise somebody's going to get some. So 1902 200 2445. First one gets a cookie, whoever wins. And hopefully it should message through here. Famous last words, 15 seconds. All right, so live demos never work. Hurrah! Okay, so we'll go back to the slides and look at the problems. The problems that I experienced, neither Tinder nor Airbnb could accept that proxy number that I bought, the one that I just gave you. I don't know why. There were some internal errors. And of course, it's not entirely private, since I can access the system and see the originating number. But the idea would be that I wouldn't actually know the originating number of who sent it to me. So that was quick overview of the Twilio Proxy service, and hopefully if I check my phone in a minute, I will have some text messages and I will text you back and be able to show people that I don't actually know what your number is, but we've been able to maintain a two-way communication over the system. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, and there's some links to their stuff.